This is Stuck Check 1 of 2. We do stuck checks here at eSGT to make sure and ensure that all drivers get off the line safe and sound with any glitches, bugs, or mishaps happening. As we start our first stuck check right now. Here we begin stuck check number 2, again to ensure that all drivers leave the grid without any glitches, bugs, or mishaps happening. And this is stuck check number 3, the final stuck check. Hello and welcome to the eSGT Round 3, Lobby 3 race here at Suzuka Circuit for another round of an excellent endurance race that's about to happen here. We have drivers such as DNA Lovejuice in the Porsche, we have Vector in the Lexus, Phantom Zero in the Nissan, we have Turismo-Limbo also in the Porsche, Fullness and Neutron from Kinetic, both representing Aston Martin. We have Cooper from Team Turismo in the Atenza, MOP Racing in the Lexus, Aweoob in the Chevy, Bizzle in the Lexus, and we have binarytheory in the Ford, as well as many other drivers. And I am Chompie 18 from the CnF Racing Community, and I am going to be your commentator for today's broadcast. As we settle into qualifying here, as we get 2 minutes underway, as the racers are about to begin their first fast laps. Some good information to know for today's race. We're at Suzuka Circuit. We're doing 28 laps here at Suzuka. The fuel and tire wears are a bit over it. We got fuel at 4 times the normal rate, and tires are going to wear a lot faster at that 6 times wear. We're expecting some of these drivers to be really fast out here today. Some of those drivers including Cooper and Limbo from Team Turismo. As we all know, the Turismo boys are really fast out there. We have Fullness from Team Kinetic and OMP Racer. We'll see what these drivers can do out on track today as we go about 3 minutes into qualifying, and most drivers have started their fast laps. Also, some additional information regarding the eSGT GT3 Series as a whole. Team Superfast, Vitamin G, is being replaced by Vactor from Team Superfast for the day, as he is not going to show up to the race. We also have Catch from Rockefeller Racing being permanently replaced by his fellow teammate 305 Racing from Rockefeller in the Ford. We also have Thamageja, sorry if I mispronounced your name, being replaced by Limbo from Team Turismo, as he is going to be permanently out of the Season 2 for reasons that we cannot disclose. The average lap time here at Suzuka for the GT3 category is going to range from 1 minute and 28 seconds to about 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So we'll see what these drivers can pull out of their cars for today. As we see the drivers start to complete their first laps. OMP Racer comes in with a 159.6, solid for first lap. Pamago 13, 159.8. Aweoob coming in on provisional pole as Neutron passes him with a 159.6 as all the laps start to come in. We have variations from 220s as people are also... It's not the race, so we'll see what they can do to fix that 216 or 220 that some of the drivers have been getting to let drivers go past or whatnot. Warming their tires up, doing what they have to do. Average lap time right now is a 2:02, assuming drivers can improve on that. And as all the drivers pass the line to complete their first lap, we have Cooper from Team Turismo on pole position, followed by both Kinetic drivers in the lobby, Fullness and Neutron. Fullness and Neutron and Cooper have all had impressive performance in the past races, so we'll see what they can do in Japan today. Field is tight here at Suzuka with only a 1.1 gap from 4th to 3rd, and a gap even less than that to 5th, which I would assume is going to be a very tight field for today. Turismo-Cooper, however, has a big lead to those behind him with a gap of 1.2 seconds. Will the drivers be able to catch up? It's very possible, but that was a really good first lap, setting a 1:57.8, a really fast lap around here. Limbo from his teammate Limbo from Team Turismo tries to close that gap, making it 1.1 seconds. And this is qualification too, which in the GT3 eSGT rulebook states there will be no tire wear and no fuel usage in qualifying. So there will be no fuel burning and no need for tire saving, which makes sure that all the drivers push at their best for 20 minutes as we go on board with Turismo-Cooper. You want to slow your car just a little bit here as Turismo-Cooper goes wide, pushing just a little bit too hard, but he is on provisionary pole, so that should put him at a good place in the race. We'll hop on board with Limbo, his teammate here, also from Team Turismo. who also appears to be almost going wide, sliding that car around very, very strategically, it seems. As Limbo and other drivers cross the line, we're going to be going on board with Limbo, showing you the basics of the track, braking points, turn-in points, as he crosses the line with a 158.7. This is the pit straight. You will want to go full throttle through here, and tap on the brakes slightly as you make through the first and second turn, and just coast out that second turn. Get on the gas as fast as possible. And through the S curves, you really, it's a matter of applying the accelerator and just lifting and coasting with minimal acceleration. These really damage your tire wears, and if you make one mistake throughout the entire S curve, it can really upset basically the rest of the S curve as we go into this very long left-hander, in which you want to take it full throttle and tap the brakes slightly as you go into the right-hand turn, and then you slam on the brakes some more as Limbo slides a little bit but saves it, and you want to go through there. Next you want to go full throttle down to the hairpin here at Suzuka. Pretty tight hairpin, first gear. You want to coast it out and get on that throttle as soon as possible. Limbo here is pulling off to the side as he did make a mistake on that lap. So we go on with Neutron to finish the rest of the lap. The straight behind him was a very fast straight, so you just want to floor it, and then you want to kind of brake into third and fourth gear depending on your car. Go through here at full throttle, and then you got the back straight. Good area for passing, as there is a lot of potential for slipstream as we go into the very long, or not long, just fast left-hander, which you can cut a lot and then take the exit on it, mainly full throttle after a liftoff. Here we got the final chicane before the pit straight, which you can again cut a lot. You want to take that in second gear, cut it a lot, stay against the right-hand side, as Neutron finishes with a 157.6. As we have 9 minutes of qualifying left, we go down the qualifying grid. First on provisional pole, or first position so far, we have Cooper from Team Turismo, and behind him by 8/10ths we have Limbo, also from Team Turismo, his teammate. Third position we have Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA, as he just crossed the line. Fullness from Team Kinetic in fourth with a 800th gap to Dr. Lovejuice and a 2/10th gap to Vactor from Team Superfast. And then in fifth we have Vactor from Team Superfast, who seems to be chilling there on the side road a little bit. In sixth position we have Neutron from Team Kinetic coming around that turn there. Aweoob in seventh position driving for Chevy. Eighth position OMP Racer from Team Renegade. Hamago driving for Porsche, currently sitting in a solid 9th position right now. 10th position we have binarytheory, currently working on those fast laps. Again, the Ford is not the best car around here, so he will be taking a hit as well as all the other Ford drivers here at Suzuka, because the only place where they can put that power down is on basically two main straights here at the circuit. Here in 11th we have Phantom Zero from Independent League Racing driving for the Nissan. Again, basically the same situation as the Ford. Straight line speed is good, but it just doesn't normally have that power through the S curves and hairpins. In 12th position we have Bizzle 5, and in third place we have 305 Racing from the Team Rocketfella. So we still have 7 minutes left in qualifying, so we'll see what times everyone else can improve on and see how the grid changes. Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA seems to have improved on his time on Cooper by 2/8 of a second, with Limbo behind him by 2/10. As we are 3/4 done with qualifying, with almost 5 minutes left to go. Will anyone improve on their times? Will provisional pole change from Cooper? As we see Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA sending his regards through radio message to Cooper to slow down a little bit. I think that's quite hilarious. We go on board with Fullness from Team Kinetic. He has very powerful performance in that Aston Martin, and it's not the strongest car around here, but again, it isn't also the absolute worst car here around Suzuka. So, can Fullness get a top 3 position here in qualifying? We'll find out as he crosses the line here. He does not improve on his time. Limbo goes into the final chicane. Will he be able to make up that any places? He has 2 people he needs to pass in order to get that provisional pole, but will he do it in the Porsche? The Porsche is also a really good car around here with that low end torque, but no, he does not improve on his time, and neither does Aweoob in the Chevy behind him. Here we have Neutron, who didn't improve on his time from last lap either. So it seems as if the times are set in and none of the times are going to improve, but you never know, as there is no tire wear and no fuel, so anyone can improve on their time. And as we can see here, the gaps are closely, or the groups are closely packed into each other, as there's only 1/100th of a second between MOP Racer and Neutron from Team Kinetic, and 1/10th of a second between Aweoob and Neutron as well. See Limbo in the grass over there. Slightly messed up his final lap. for his fast lap. As Neutron brakes heavily to go into this very slow hairpin. Almost loses it on the exit. As he sets up for this extremely long right-hander that's flat out. That goes into the final field turns before the back straight. It's moderately. You really have to set your car up for these turns, because these turns you can lose a lot of time as he goes onto the back straight. Slightly lifting here to go into the 130R, I believe it's called, and heavily braking in order to go through the final chicane here at Suzuka. Gets on the gas really quickly coming out of there. As Neutron from Team Kinetic sets a new time, putting him up into 5th position, 1/10 to his teammate Fullness, and 6/100ths Factor from Team Superfast behind him. As we said, the field is very, very closely packed here, as we have less than 1 minute in qualifying. We go on board with MOP Racer driving for Lexus. Lexus is also a decent car around here, but it struggles on the straights really badly. So here at Suzuka, you really want a car that can take the S-turns moderately fast with the capability to go down that straight. The Lexus can take the S-turns really fine and really well. It's just the long straights that it absolutely loses out on when it's not in slipstream. As qualifying ends and drivers make their final lap. As we run down the grid for what possibly could be the race grid. Here on provisional pole, we have Cooper from Team Turismo, 8/10 to Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA. Will anyone pass that? I don't think so, but anything can happen in the next minute. Second place, we have Lovejuice from Team DNA in the Porsche. Also, really good, well-rounded car around here. Third, we have Limbo from Team Turismo, Fullness from Team Kinetic, and his teammate Neutron from Team Kinetic in 4th and 5th place, respectively. Factor from Team Superfast, who already finished his qualifying, seems like he finished first, is holding a steady 6th position right in the middle of the field. OMP Racer, as he comes around the final chicane, let's see if he can improve on his position from 7th. Will he improve? He does improve his time, but not enough to improve his position. Lowers the gap to the person above him, Factor, by 6/100ths of a second. In 8th place, we have Aweoob driving for Chevy, who also finished his qualifying. 9th, we have pmourinho 13, who has yet to finish qualifying, but it seems as if they are not on a fast lap. 10th place, Binary Theory, also not on a fast lap. And in 11th, we have Phantom Zero from Independent League Racing, also finished his flying lap. So it seems that we have the grid set here for Lobby 3, Round 3, here at Suzuka for the eSGT Series. And in 12th, we have Bizzle driving for Lexus. And in 13th, we have 305 Racing from the Rockefeller Racing Team. Again, that Ford Mustang, it really suffers through the S curves, so it's not the race for the Fords around here. But whenever we go to Tokyo, it will most definitely have that advantage. Lots of penalties given out in qualifying too, so we'll see if anything changes in the race, because penalties do apply in the race. They don't apply that much in qualifying. As we get started here, at Suzuka, one of the more famous circuits in the world.
I'm rocking.
We watched the start from 8th position. And they're off as we begin the 28 laps of Suzuka here for the eSGT Series. Both Aston Martins get an incredible start as Fullness and Neutron hold first and second place respectively. Cooper goes down the inside in the corner 2, stealing second place from Neutron. Cooper does go wide, cutting that S chicane. That's probably going to give him a penalty here as he goes really wide. And Fullness goes around as Neutron holds the lead of this race. Cooper behind him, probably with a penalty. Then comes Limbo and Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA. Vector here overtaking Racer on the outside as he goes as he barely keeps it on track. Racer almost losing it out of there. Binary theory improving positions because Fullness and a few others spun out. Neutron started from, I think it was 5th position, representing Team Kinetic very well around here. Will Cooper catch up to him? I think he will, but there will only be time to tell that, as Cooper is in the slipstream going down the straight. However, the Mazda isn't the best on straight line speed, but absolutely destroys time through the S curves, giving him a partial advantage on the Aston Martin. Cooper had to slow down for Neutron there, as Neutron does spin it a little bit. Neutron coming across the line on the first lap to make that fastest lap. Neutron does try to break slipstream. Neutron holds position in the first turn, but does make a slight mistake, but Cooper does not pass him. Also, it appears that Cooper does not have a penalty for what happened through the S curves during that first lap. Cooper tries to go down the inside through the S curves. He manages to pass him completely as Cooper takes the lead of Suzuka on lap 2. Turismo right behind them to pick up any pieces that might fall. Let's see what's going on in the midfield as we go on board with Aweoob driving for Chevy. It's fairly single file as OMP Racer tries to profit off of a mistake that Vector from Team Superfast does make, but he is in that slipstream, both driving for Lexus, giving the Chevy an opportunity to catch up. Now offensive moves being made. However, Vector does go very wide, giving 2 drivers the position. Lovejuice ahead, hitting the grass just a little bit. Vector is losing more than 2 positions as he must have spun out. We have a spin into the final chicane as Limbo makes this error through or into the braking zone of the final chicane. That gives Neutron from Team Kinetic a huge break, as now he doesn't have to defend, he can worry about attacking. As first and second are pulling away down here in the midfield, 3rd through 5th are having a small and direct battle. Limbo is also catching up very quickly to these drivers, so we'll come back to see what they have as we go on board with Binary Theory, who's having a very, very intense battle, it seems, between Vector from Team Superfast and Phantom Zero from Independent League Racing. As Phantom does go a little bit wide, giving about 4 drivers the position. Back here we have a battle for 7th between Binary Theory, Vector, Bizzle, and Fullness. Fullness started in 4th position it was, but spun out in S-curves on lap 1. So we'll see if he can improve, or more like fix, the mistake that had happened there. As Vector is in the slipstream of Binary Theory, we'll see what he can do here. Tries to go down the inside, but that Lexus won't be enough for the Ford's straight line speed down that final straight. As we go approach another straight, the pit lane straight. We go to Turismo-Limbo to see that Love Juice from Team DNA has gone a little bit wide, pushing himself back into 5th position. As Kinetic-Neutron and what it seems to be Aweoob taking those positions and moving on up. Cooper doing very strong in 1st position here. Aweoob started in about, I think it was 9th position, but he made it up to 2nd. Let's see if he can keep it there. Makes a mistake on the exit of that turn onto the final straight, giving OMP Racer giving him an opportunity to pass into the long left-hander. Neutron gets a great speed boost off of the slipstream, but he can't do anything with it as that part of the track is only about 2 cars wide. As there is slight contact and Neutron slides into the final chicane, gaining the position, but probably will have to give it back to Aweoob. Small contact again as Limbo passes Neutron from Team Kinetic. Back to where he started in qualifying. We see Limbo trying to make a move on Aweoob. Limbo is faster than the 2 drivers ahead of him, 2nd and 3rd place, because again, he was pushed back due to a mess up into the braking zone of the final chicane. As Limbo stays in line here, as OMP Racer serves his penalty that he got from cutting the track somewhere, giving the both drivers behind him an opportunity to catch up and get his slipstream down the 2nd straight, or the very, very long right-hand turn. to go into the back straight. This gives Limbo the slipstream that he needs in order to make a move on Aweoob. Will he do it? We'll find out. He probably had to lift off so he wouldn't make contact that turn. As Aweoob goes defensive into the chicane and holds the position. So far, Cooper from Team Turismo is up in first place, holding a solid 10-second lead. Limbo is right on the tail of Aweoob in the Chevy here. Let's see if he'll make a move into the hairpin up here. And he will not. He will stay in line. It is lap 6 around here at Suzuka, so the pit window has opened for anyone on the soft tire, as the pit window is lap 6 to lap 8. And the soft tire is really going to be degraded around here if you're not saving them. Limbo is in our slipstream as he goes down as they go down the back straight. Will he pull out? No, he will not. He will let off. Aweoob goes non-defensive into the chicane, letting Limbo go by. Chances are Aweoob is going to pit here if he didn't care about that position whatsoever. And the case is not true. He stays out to go around one more time. Getting in the Limbo slipstream, catching greatly, but it's not enough. Limbo is going to start catching up to OMP Racer now. Let's see how Fullness is doing ever since that spin into the first part of the S-curves. Behind him by 5/10 we have binarytheory. Binarytheory again is in that Ford, so he won't be able to do much through the S-curves, but it's the long straights that Mustang is absolutely going to fly like a rocket. The Aston, though, is a better all-around car for this track, as we see Fullness is pulling, already have gained or made a 1 second gap between them with outside of the normal slipstream range. Let's go to 10th position, 305 Racing from Team Rocketfella. Seems to be catching up slightly to Neutron from Team Kinetic, who appears to have made a big mistake, as he is now pushed back into 9th. Cooper makes his pit stop, it seems, as he's coming out of the pit lane. Some drivers are staying out, some drivers are going in. As we see now, MOP Racer leads this race as Cooper did make his pit stop. In 4th position, Cooper did come out behind Lovejuice as he is trying to pass him right now, as he manages to go around the inside into the dual right-hander, already gaining a 1 second gap to Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA. Now he is very much catching up to his teammate Limbo from Team Turismo as well. Again, on the same tire compound probably, but Limbo did not pit and is on way worse tires as he falls back and gets into Cooper's slipstream through the next straightaway. Cooper as well does hold the fastest lap for this race with a 1:59.3. Some drivers staying out, maybe they're on the medium tire. Or maybe they're just saving their softs extremely well. As Cooper is very well catching up, lowering that gap down to 1 second now to MOP Racer. Both in similar chassis framed cars, the Lexus and Atenza being somewhat similar. Sorry, he's driving the Mazda, Cooper. As he has lowered that gap to now 0.2 of a second to MOP Racer and is right on his tail. And MOP just lets him go right by. Again, Cooper is on the way softer tire compared to the rest of them, so maybe he is going for the more aggressive and more stop strategy. We'll never find out until the very end of the race. Cooper already making a 1.2 second gap to second place MOP Racer from Team Renegade. As we go into the final chicane here. And MOP goes a little bit wide in the braking zone, showing you the wear of those tires. As he stays out to go on lap 10 as Limbo hits in. Some drivers switching to the mediums and pit stop, others staying out on the softs. We go to Fullness from Team Kinetic, making up a few positions since his crash into turn 1 on lap 1. But Limbo does and is in the faster car, as both drivers are catching up to the binary theory, but Limbo plans on probably passing both of them. As Limbo goes around the outside or down the inside of Fullness and Theory, as Theory is pushed a little bit wide, coming out of that double left-hander. Limbo passing both of them can continue on his race on those softer tires. I don't think Fullness has pitted yet, though, and neither is Binary Theory, so that's probably why both of them are going a little bit slower than usual. Behind them, it appears 10th and 8th. Or no, sorry, 9th and 10th are having a little bit of a battle here. Bizzle and Vactor from Team Superfast, both appearing to have made their pit stops. But Vactor seems to be the better driver going by in the slipstream. Vactor seems to be saving a little bit of fuel here, so most likely why he didn't go for the move. As Brizzle goes semi-defensive into the final chicane. Most drivers are making their pit stops now, as if you're not saving fuel heavily, you're going to be out. Bizzle and Vactor both go up a position. Go to 4th and 5th position, MOP Racer and Dr. Lovejuice representing Team DNA. MOP just pitted, so he's going to have the better tires, but Lovejuice is the faster driver overall, so this will be a very exciting battle. And behind them we have Neutron and Aweoob representing Chevy and Aston Martin respectively, going at it as well. As Neutron tries to go around the outside, but it doesn't work for him, and sets himself to go offensive into these last two corners before the final back straight. But Aweoob defends somewhat well. But Neutron does have the slipstream coming down the back straight here. Neutron offers to go down the inside, and it appears to be a very successful move done by Neutron as they both brake to go into the final chicane. That is that as we go to the battle between 5th and 4th, Lovejuice and MOP Racer. Lovejuice in the slipstream of that Lexus, but it's not enough as he does lose it a little bit into that braking zone. We also do have a new fastest lap. Limbo from Team Turismo has broken a 159.0. And as seen here, MOP Racer does have the better tires and the better car through the S curves, but in general the Porsche is going to be better down the straight. And Lovejuice is probably the faster driver, but it's hard to tell between the two of them. They are both really good drivers. And now we have a battle for 7th and 8th as Aweoob seems to be struggling a little bit through that hairpin, that very tight hairpin here at Suzuka. As Vactor is in that slipstream down this very long right-hander, flat out. Not close enough to make a move, but close enough to put the pressure on to make Aweoob in the Chevy go wide, and Vactor goes through with zero problems. go back to MOP Racer and Dr. Lovejuice to see how their battle is carrying on. Dr. Lovejuice is gaining through the S curves now, catching up to MOP through the braking sections. Gives him a little bit of a bump as they go into the dual right-hander. Will Lovejuice make a move into the tight hairpin? Let's find out. Goes down the inside, but it's not enough, and MOP keeps the position, going a bit wide out to exit that chicane, giving Lovejuice the perfect opportunity to pass him into this next turn, or next set of corners, but offers to stay behind a little bit and take the outside line. Again, MOP defends his position and keeps it. But now Lovejuice does have the better straight line speed and slipstream going down the back straight, the longest straight here at Suzuka. Goes down the inside and easily passes MOP as he seems to appear to have let off. As they both brake to go into the final chicane. Fullness pits, giving both drivers an additional position. Now, Fullness exited the pits in front of Vactor, but is going to be pulling away. But Vactor might be able to catch up to him on the straights, so we'll see. Field being very spread out as we have first position Cooper going in for his second pit stop, opening the pit window for the second stop of this race if you're on the soft compound. Pit window plans to close at about lap 18. If you're on the medium tire, however, that will give you a better long-lasting advantage as Cooper comes out in front of his teammate Limbo, both on Team Turismo, by 8 seconds. The field being very spread out right now. And Neutron from Team Kinetic appears to be catching up to 4th position, held by MOP Racer. Kinetic-Neutron appears to be on the better tires and is catching up slightly to MOP Racer. It appears though that MLP is raising that gap to Neutron from Team Kinetic with a gap of 2.5 seconds and counting. But that Aston does have the way better straight line speed than the Lexus, so we'll see what they can do. Right now the field is very spread out here at Suzuka, as we have a very wide range of drivers. At the next 3 rounds, we're going to have a very more compact field, as drivers will be ranked into lobbies based on their skill level and points that they are currently holding in the championships, giving a more competitive set of lobbies here at the eSGT Series. If you haven't seen the preview video for the GT3 Series, I recommend you go check it out. It basically runs down the rules and what the GT3 Series is all about here at eSGT. As these first 3 lobbies are all mixed together, and they pick random drivers to put in them. So we have drivers that are very, very fast, and we have drivers who are not as talented, and mixed together. Neutron seems to be catching up to MOP Racer, representing Team Renegade here, as the gap has now gone down to 1.5 seconds. Those straight lines are definitely giving the Aston Martin that advantage. Not within that slipstream range yet, but he does still have that straight line speed. As Neutron does go wide into that long left-hander, breaking into the final chicane. Neutron goes in for his second pit stop, lap 16. He is losing approximately 2 positions to making that pit stop. Maybe 3. And comes out in front of Aweoob. Pit window is still open for the soft tire. And the medium tire pit window opens about on lap 19 or 20, depending on how much fuel you have. We go on board with Dr. Lovejuice representing Team DNA, as he is really lowering that gap to Limbo representing Team Turismo in Porsche, both in Porsches, both fairly good around Suzuka. But we have 2 very different drivers, very different driving styles, but they're both very quick. Both have not yet made their second stop of the race, as they break into the final chicane to either pit or stop or start their 18th lap. They both stay out. Back to Kinetic-Neutron. He is gaining heavily on Vactor from Team Superfast because he is going for that undercut and pitting early. He is going to get that advantage against the drivers ahead of him who have not pitted yet, lowering that gap down to 0.7 of a second. Vactor does go a little bit wide, giving Neutron an easy pass. Going into the double right-hander. And we see that Love Juice has caught up heavily and lowered that gap to Limbo from Team Turismo, as he is going to most likely be in that slipstream down the back straight, with a gap of 0.5 and going down. I don't think it's enough for him to make a move into the final chicane or into this turn here, but it might be enough if neither one of them pit down the pit straight. Limbo stays out, but Love Juice goes in with 3% of his fuel remaining. Fullness does the same and follows suit, pitting in. Dr. Love Juice is expected to come out in front of Vactor. Or sorry, behind Vactor. It seems Fullness has passed Love Juice in the pits. Love Juice is catching up to Vactor. Vactor still hasn't pitted yet, but he's probably on the slower strategy, more passive. Vactor passing Love Juice. Or sorry, Love Juice passing Vactor, my bad. As Love Juice and Fullness go and catch up to the upper positions. Both of them pitted. Limbo from Team Turismo goes in to make his second pit stop on lap 19. As we start lap 20, we run down the grid. First position, we currently have Cooper from Team Turismo, who has been doing an excellent job keeping that gap up throughout this entire race. Second, 35 seconds behind Cooper is Neutron representing Team Kinetic. Third is Fullness from Team Kinetic. Neutron and Fullness are on the same team. Fourth, Dr. Love Juice from Team DNA. Fifth, we have Limbo from Team Turismo, who just pitted, but is relatively quick, so we should be seeing some passes from him soon. Sixth position, Vactor from Team Superfast. Seventh, OMP Racer representing Team Renegade. Eighth, we have Aweoob driving for Chevy. Ninth, we have Binary Theory just now getting passed by Bizzle, who just took his 9th position. Binary Theory in 10th. 11th, we have Pamago, who is currently in the pits refueling. 12th, we have 305 Racing, representing Rockefeller Racing, coming in for his pit stop. And then in 13th, we have Phantom Zero, representing the Independent Racing League for Gran Turismo Sport. We go back to Limbo from Team Turismo. Is currently making his pit stop, refueling. Love Juice is getting that gap lowered by Limbo, as Limbo is on the pressure tires, it appears. Limbo is within slipstream range in that 8/10ths gap to Love Juice. We also have Fullness and Kinetic going at it, both from the same team, both representing the same manufacturer. Fullness is in Neutron slipstream, but again, they are both on the same racing team, Kinetic, so they might be in this party together, in a radio chat together, debating on strategy. So Fullness probably, it's possible that he might not pass Neutron to save fuel and work together in order to get away from Love Juice from Team DNA, who is catching them, and same goes for Limbo, as we begin lap 22 for these two drivers. And we hear Fullness coming off the gas there, so he's either saving fuel or has worked out something with his teammate Neutron. Limbo has made a move on Love Juice down the straight as he goes into 4th position, trying to catch up with those two Kinetic drivers. Love Juice is really suffering through those S turns, and Limbo is taking them just fine, both in the Porsche as well. It also appears that Fullness has gone by Neutron, so either Neutron could save fuel or Fullness is just the faster driver out of the two. But now that puts Limbo in perfect range in order to overtake Neutron on the back straight. Again, for the drivers that are on medium tires, this is their pit window, as Phantom Zero over there must have made a mistake and gets lapped. Limbo letting off. This long 130R left-hander is not the best place to overtake, but he does manage to overtake into the final chicane here. Neutron going in to make his, I believe this is his second pit stop, or third. Neutron comes out in 5th position, but MOP Racer is going to come past him as he's coming out of the pits. That leaves Fullness, Limbo, and Love Juice together. Not within striking distance of each other, but close enough that they can keep an eye on one another and see various strategies. Now go to backdoor, as it appears. No, sorry, it's Neutron, who him and MOP Racer are currently having a small battle. Neutron is probably going to go past him as he's on better tires. It's very possible too that MOP Racer is on the long haul sort of strategy and will not make a pit stop, because if he was going to make a pit stop, it would probably be best to do it on lap 22, giving him 6 laps on the softs, which in my opinion is the perfect number of laps to do on the softs. The Aston way quicker in a straight line than the Alexis and in slipstream, giving Neutron the time to catch up in order to possibly make a move into the final chicane, but does not in Fullness pits as well. Fullness does come out in front of Neutron and MOP Racer. Neutron's losing it slightly, coming out of the second turn. Gap is now 4 tenths between Neutron and MOP. Neutron goes down the outside of MOP, but will he get the position? Slight contact, but no. Neutron will have to stay in slipstream and possibly pass down the back straight. Side by side. Neutron does get past on those fresher tires, so we can start pushing with about 4 laps left to go. They start their 3rd lap. Lap 25 out of 28 here at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. Kinetic-Neutron on those quicker tires is definitely pulling away from MOP as he is now out of slipstream range and cuts that corner really well. Probably is going to receive a penalty for that. And Vactor from Team Superfast is 6 seconds behind, ready to pick up any pieces if there is any. Behind MOP Racer, it seems that the Chevy is also having a slight... No, that is Phantom Zero in front of Vactor. Suzuka is a relatively difficult track if your car cannot handle those S-turns, and the Nissan here is... Nissan and the Ford both are those cars that are not that great at taking those S-turns. So they're most likely, as we see here, going to struggle through there quite a bit. Lap 26 begins as Cooper crosses the start-finish line to begin 2 laps remaining. Or sorry, 1 lap remaining. He crosses to begin the 27th lap. 2 laps remaining, I mean, sorry. Here at Suzuka. We go on board with Fullness from Team Kinetic, finishing out that final chicane to start his second to last lap here at Suzuka. Fullness is in a pretty stable position right now with a 2.2 second gap to Love Juice and 6.5 second gap to his teammate Neutron. Very spread out here at Suzuka as their multiple cars have multiple strengths and weaknesses here, as well as multiple driver levels, as this is a random mixed lobby, as Love Juice goes a little bit wide into that double right-hander after the S-curves, giving Fullness a podium position that he might be able to hold off for the next 1.5 laps. There's a 1.8 second gap between Dr. Lovejuice and Fullness. Will Dr. Lovejuice go to reclaim his position, or will Fullness take that podium position? As we begin lap 28 as Cooper crosses the line. go on board with Cooper, who is currently finishing out his S-curves. Very fast driver, amazing performance here at Suzuka in Japan. And he is going to take first place here at Suzuka, unless he doesn't make a major mistake with that. But with that 23-second gap, I think Cooper here, representing Team Turismo, is very well safe of second place. Speaking of second place, that is his teammate Limbo from Team Turismo. Limbo again is very new to the series, as he is a permanent replacement for the driver Tham Ega, who had to retire from the series. As we go back to the small battle, which seems to have disintegrated between Fullness and Dr. Lovejuice, as there is now a 3.7-second gap between the two drivers. So it seems that Fullness will be taking that podium position from, or sorry, it seems that Fullness will be taking that podium position from Lovejuice here in Japan. We go on board with Cooper as he finishes that second chicane to cross the line to finish this excellent endurance race, representing Team Turismo crossing the line. Second position is his teammate Limbo, coming around, breaking into that final chicane for the very last time here in Season 1. Coming around that final corner to finish a successful second place for Team Turismo. Fullness got a penalty, but that won't be enough for Dr. Lovejuice to claim his third position, and as they both finish in third and fourth respectively. Neutron was behind to pick up pieces, but couldn't pick up any, finishing fifth for Team Kinetic and Aston Martin. Sixth place, MOP Racer representing Renegade as he crosses the line. Seventh position is Vactor for Team Superfast, subbing for Vitamin G today as he crosses the line in seventh position. Eighth, we have Aweoob, independent driver, but he's driving for Chevy, and for that Chevy being decent around here, he drove that thing well as he crosses the line. Binary Theory coming around to 1:30R for the final time, breaking into that final chicane. Coming around the final turn to cross the line. Again, the Ford not being great around here, but 9th is a very good result for that Ford. And 10th as we see the final non-lapped driver cross the line. Bizzle, representing CnF Racing Team, crosses the line as we finish the Suzuka race. Cooper and Limbo from Team Turismo, and Fullness representing Team Kinetic here at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. I'm your commentator, Chompie, from the CnF Racing Community. Tune in next race. We will be heading to Tokyo at the South Outer Express Loop. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good rest of your day